Well, thanks so much for being here. This is a great occasion. James was a bulldog in our administration, and I think most of you who've been involved in this process know that being the chief of staff for a governor is very time-consuming. You get pulled in a bunch of different directions, and particularly being chief of staff when you have a governor that's been very active like we have been. That is not easy. It's not easy to juggle that. It's even more difficult to be able to land victory after victory. And so James successfully did that as good as anybody's ever done. And so I figured, kind of as a reward for that, I wanted him to have more time with his family. I wanted him to have a little bit less hectic. So put him as Attorney General. I mean, he'll be very active as Attorney General, but I think from Chief of Staff tempo, I don't know that there's a position that you get pulled in all those different directions. And the proof's in the pudding. When we had the decision, obviously we put our former Attorney General as a U.S. Senator, and she did a great job for us here in Florida. She's doing a great job now representing there. But we had an opportunity to make a selection for a very important statewide office, and an office that really can make a difference in the lives of Floridians, an office that obviously was very prominent when we were battling Washington during the Biden administration, but also is going to be very important as we're here in this new era of American governance. And so you want somebody that that no matter which way the wind blows, no matter whether it's easy, whether it's difficult, that they're going to be standing for the right things and doing the right things on behalf of the people of Florida. That's not how most people necessarily operate. There's a lot of times taking the path of least resistance is just the easier thing to do. But from time to time, all throughout our administration, James was always digging in and fighting for what was right, even when it wasn't easy. And you go back to when he was general counsel, we were leading the vanguard to drag this country out of COVID authoritarianism, fighting the lockdowns, making sure kids were in school, making sure they could breathe without having masks forced on them for 8 hours a day, making sure our businesses had a right to operate, making sure you didn't have to choose between a job you needed and an MNRA jab you may not have wanted. And then we saw that parlay into education reform, enacting universal school choice, #1 state in America for education freedom, but also fighting against things like the CRT and the DEI when it wasn't popular to do so, when those concepts had the momentum, and we stood in and fought back against that and successfully did that and continue to fight those fights. And so you look at all the successes, there wasn't anything that happened in our administration that James was not integrally involved in. And then even beyond what we do in administrative and what we do with the legislature, which is significant, but having to step up and fight against these amendments that were proposed last year that would have been detrimental to the state of Florida. That was not an easy fight. No one thought that it could be successful, and yet we would not have succeeded in that fight if it wasn't for James's leadership. So this was not a very difficult decision for me to put James as the next Attorney General because I know he's got the foundation. I know he's got the proper worldview that as new issues come to the fore, and there's going to be a lot of issues in his time as Attorney General, which, I mean, he could serve potentially 10 years as Attorney General, that we're not even thinking about now. But if you approach it with the proper worldview, if you have that solid foundation, you're going to be able to address those issues effectively. And so Casey and I look forward to being able to welcome James to the Florida Cabinet. We wanted him to have this and have a little reception, but then we're getting on the road with the Cabinet today, and we're implementing the immigration legislation, and we're off to the races. And I know he's got a lot of great stuff that he's going to be doing right out of the gate. And he's going to make you proud, and he's going to make all of us proud. So we're happy to be here today. We wish our new Attorney General a great tenure in office, and I have no doubt if he does even a fraction as Attorney General of what he did in our administration, you guys are going to be very, very pleased. So thank you.
Thank you, Governor. And at this time, I would invite General Designate Uthmeier and his family to come forward, and along with Justice Sasso, to have the oath of office administered.
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the government
the Constitution and the government
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
under the Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties of Attorney General on which I am now about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Governor DeSantis, First Lady, it's been the honor of a lifetime to assist you in what's been the most transformational governance. It's not lost on me the duty that you have bestowed upon me. I will never forget it, and I will never let you down. Justice Sasso, members of the legislature, state leaders, friends and family, my parents, most importantly, my wife, Jean, and our 3 beautiful children, thank you for being here with me today. As I put my hand on that Bible, I was reminded of a verse from Proverbs, a verse that I turn to daily. To do what is right and just for the Lord is greater than any sacrifice. To do what is right and just. As with all spiritual truths, these words hit a political mark. To do what is right and just. It's easy to say the right things, but not everybody goes out and does them. This is one of the many lessons that I have learned from our great governor. Our state is exceptional because we lead not with political rhetoric or empty promises. We do what is right by the people, even if it is not the easiest path. Sometimes doing what's right can cost you. Not just the sacrifices of late nights in the office, early mornings, or days away from your family. Sometimes it can cost you political fortune, political gain. It can disrupt the status quo. It can bring discomfort. Well, I promise to you and the people of Florida that I will endeavor every day to do what is right and to levy justice where it is due. No empty rhetoric, no posturing, no excuses. We will use the office of the Attorney General to punish criminals, to protect the innocent, and to stand boldly by our brave law enforcement. We will champion an America First agenda, and we will fight back against the cartels, the gangs, and the traffickers that have wreaked havoc on our country for far too long. We will not stand idly by as the left tries to infiltrate our institutions and use the court system to indoctrinate our kids. We will fight the activists that try to weaken our duly enacted laws, that try to challenge our constitutional order, and that try to harm the unborn. We will protect the sacred fire of liberty and all the rights and responsibilities therein. And I promise you this, we will fight every day with dignity, we will deliver results, and we will fight to keep our home safe, strong, and free. Thank you.